What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about Zebec today, ZBCN. Hit that like button, subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and let's get into it, my friends. It is the 25th day of October. Here we are sitting just below 0.004, 10 hours, 33 minutes left in the day. We've actually hit 004 today, and I think that we will likely progress higher by the end of today and even over the coming days. Maybe I should wait on that. Let's look at the short term stuff. Maybe by the end of the day we see a little bit of a pullback. I'm kind of forecasting that for some cryptos. Let's see if ZBCN looks like it's following the pack with some of this, or some of the pack with that movement there. Looking at the 1 hour time frame here, we look really good on the RSI. Okay, typically whenever you have an uptrend like this, whenever you have higher lows and higher highs, those uptrends come to an end once you're in the overbought zone. So the fact that we've hit that repeatedly now, it makes me wonder if we are at the end of this move, and if not, could we be getting set up for it where we move up, we get a lower high here, and we get a higher high in the price? Could that bearish divergence be the beginning of what is potentially a retracement of this move overall? And then maybe tomorrow we begin to move back up again, something like that. With that in mind, not financial advice, not a financial advisor, we do not have the high of this move yet, so it would be inappropriate to draw some fibs. However, let's do it anyways. From a low to a high here, assuming that we probably do move up just a little bit from here. Maybe we get a higher close, something like that. You could expect to see prices back down at 0037, 0039, 0038, something like that. We're at 00394 right now, so it's really not that dramatic, right? It shouldn't be that scary or intimidating to move back to prior areas of resistance and support back here and find support there. It shouldn't be a big traumatizing endeavor that happens. I expect it to be short-lived, and then going into Monday or Sunday, we should even be moving back up, right? It's Saturday now. We have 10 hours, 31 minutes left in the day. The 1 hour time frame moves fast. So whenever I say that we look like we're at a point to take a break here, we're not quite there yet, but I think we're getting there. This break could last half a day. So today's Saturday. By the beginning hours of Sunday, by the 7th hour, we could be done with this retracement and be continuing to move higher afterwards, right? So this is not anything to linger on. It's not really anything to worry about too much, but I wouldn't be surprised if we did move back down. Again, something in this area where we found support, a little bit of support above there, resistance right there, resistance right here, support right there, right at about 00376, maybe just below, maybe just above, but probably just below. That'd be my guess. Definitely getting another push up though first. If I'm wrong, then take out this high. Get a closing hour above that high. Don't just wick above it, but close above it. If you get a 1 hour time frame to close above 00413, a 1 hour time frame or higher time frame to close above there, then I'm wrong. You're probably not going to pull back to this area. You're probably, maybe you're extending even higher. But looking at the 1 hour time frame here, the indicators, the RSI, it would make sense to come up a little bit, get some bearish divergence, right, and then you're done there. It would make sense maybe to do the same with the stochastics, where you come back up to the overbought zone because you're bouncing off the 50, but maybe it's a weaker reading. Let's just see if we can find an example. Just like this here. You bounce off the 50 and then boom. Then you went down, right? Just like that. Literally just like that. That's what we're looking for. Something like that. Yeah, just like this, right? Down, bounced off the 50, rejected, came down, just like that. Literally perfect. It's exactly what we're looking for here. Something that would provide a slightly higher high, give you that bearish divergence, and then you can move down. And the MACD has bearish divergence as well. So again, this is all in the 1 hour time frame. It's nothing to be intimidated by. Blink, hold your breath, don't look at the charts for a day, and by the time you're back, everything's going to be resolved. Looking at the 4 hour time frame, we're not even overbought yet, but we are at a good place to reject, right? We've got 2 hours, 29 minutes left. I would expect then that either this candle or the next one, we find our relevant high. And what we probably do is we probably, and I bet this ages well, we probably reject the overbought zone. Maybe we get into it a little bit. I doubt that we get readings like this. We're probably going to be something more akin to what we saw here, or even here, where we are just below or just above the overbought zone and we find resistance and we come back down. Now, here, when we found resistance, I would expect that we do the same thing here. I would expect we do the same thing here that we did here, where we find resistance, but we still come back up and get overbought again, right? I don't think that we're done with our endeavor. I think that we've got higher highs to go. I absolutely do, and I think that we're going to see some spectacular price action going into either Sunday, tomorrow, the end of the day, or Monday. Going into next week, I think that we're going to see some good stuff happen. But if we're looking at this here for like a trend, higher lows, higher highs, it makes sense that we pull back a little bit. Maybe Sunday is a red day, and then we reject here. So with that in mind, probably the next 4 hour candle would be red. I bet we close this one green. Stochastics look good, and the MACD, wow, the MACD actually doesn't look bad either. But we are at a point to reject here as well, right? Sometimes right whenever you get above the zero line, that's whenever you reject, just like here. Right, when we got just above it, that was actually a relative high point. We came back down. We actually continued to go lower. I don't think that we're going to see the same results here. You know, I think we might reject a little bit. We might consolidate, but I don't think that we're going to see lower lows or anything like that. I'm very, very confident that this low here is the low. I don't think that we're going lower than this low here at 00324, right in the heart of the intended range, right? Again, we bounced right here from a low to a high, bounced right at the golden ratio zone. It's perfect. It's literally perfect. And likely from here, once we get above about 00414, when we get above there on a daily closing basis, we should be home free. We really should be home free. I suppose the last line in the sand to get above would be about 00475. We get a daily close above there, then we're definitely seeing new relevant highs here. We're definitely breaking out of this overall phase that we've been in since May. We're fast approaching this, but we're just not there yet. I think we still have a little bit of working out to do, and then we'll probably break out here again going into next week, going into the end of the month here. Looking at the 4 hour time frame, I think we already went over this enough. I don't think we need to go over it more. It just makes sense, right? Stochastics are hot. RSI is at a hot point, you know, to reject, and so is the MACD. They're all kind of at places to reject and come down, so do that, come down. But what we want to see here is a productive come down. We want to see it where you come down, but you find support at prior resistance. You find support at prior support. You find support, but your indicators are cooled off, but they're not weak. They're cooled off, and they're ready to run again. You know what I mean? That's what we're looking for. So some kind of modest, slow, boring, drawn out downside would be nice over the next like 24 hours, I think. Looking at the daily time frame here, definitely looking like, you know, as far as the short-term stuff goes, the 1 hour, the 4 hour, that's good for, you know, today, tomorrow, and even the coming days. But the daily time frame is good for the coming weeks and even beyond that. We are certainly at a low point here in the price. And it's observable with the RSI, right? We take this low in the RSI. How many times do we bounce right here, right there, right there, right there, right there, right here, 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 all these, I mean, just observably at a low point, right? Can we say that? I think it's obvious. Yes, yes, yes. We've gone lower before as well, but even in essence with these lows here, we've actually maintained higher lows, haven't we? Haven't we? We're kind of in like a trend right there. So just in another perspective too, including these lows, we're actually at a low point here. It would make sense that we are at a low point here. And then with these low points, we typically do get back into the overbought areas. When we get overbought, some magic happens. What I'm expecting, because just speaking on the realm of, let's say, statistical probabilities, and this is not a good way to go about things, right? Don't use this logic in Vegas, okay? But you know, it's been 2 times that we've rejected the overbought zone here where we didn't get into it. Here we got into it, we lived in it. That was nice. We saw probably some growth there, right? That kind of reaction. Look at that, beautiful. Where these reactions are just rejections, nothing productive. 2 rejections in a row. I think we're overdue for some kind of life in the overbought zone. Again, don't take that logic to Vegas. Just because there's 3 blacks in a row doesn't mean that you're going to get a red. 3 reds in a row, 4 reds. You can see, man, I have seen 28 reds in a row, 30. I'm sure there's people who've seen more than that even. I've asked dealers at the roulette tables what like the longest, the most amount of a consistent color they've ever seen, and they said that they rolled the same color for like 30 minutes straight. It was crazy. That logic again will get you in trouble in Vegas, but here the idea that you know we've rejected the overbought zone, so we're overdue. We've hit black twice. Now we're due for some red. Okay, we're overdue. I think that logic is safer here than it might be in a place like Vegas. I hope you guys understand my meaning there. The stochastics would suggest. I don't like this area. I'll tell you what though. The only thing that's positive about this is that we've done this before. Right, we found support right here once, twice before. This is not a normal place to find support. But for Zebec, apparently it is. Apparently it is, and that's good enough for me. I don't have to ask questions. If it wasn't for either of these 2 points, if it was just for one of them and not for both of them, I would be a little bit skeptical here that we do have lower to go. But the fact that we found direct support here, your RSI is at an area that you found support, I'm confident enough to say I doubt we go lower. In fact, even if tomorrow is a red day, even if Sunday's a red day, it's not going to be an intense red day. I wouldn't be surprised if by the the end of today and going into tomorrow we saw some red, but we probably close tomorrow green. Monday probably closes green too, and regardless, overall we're going to be moving up higher. I doubt that this stochastics does anything but bounce here. So again, the downside that we talked about in the beginning of this video, it's negligible at best. It's really nothing to be worried about, but still something around 00376, was it 003, what was it, 372, 373, whatever, something around there. That's probably where we're going to go, and then we'll find support, continue to move higher. Ultimately, I think that we're at our limitations with this range overall. I'm not drawing it the best, but you can kind of see what I'm going for, right? We can move this line up a little bit. We're going for this, man, that was a horribly drawn line. Let's just redo it. We're going for this kind of Dorito triangle chip pattern here, looking like it wants to break out and move higher. These patterns, these wedges are notorious for fake outs in both directions, so the fact that we broke out here is not really that worrisome. I would expect that we eat this back, and we probably do launch once we get above these highs here. All right, I wouldn't focus so much on the trend lines. Don't focus so much on like these points here. More focus on the actual price points. Once we get above, who cares if we're above this trend line? Let's get above this price action. Once we get above that price action, because price action is the ultimate arbiter of truth there, once we get above this, we should be seeing some expansion, some rapid expansion. So 0053, which likely doesn't happen. I would say it probably doesn't happen by the end of this month, but you never know. Zebec can move fast if it wants to. We could be above there by the end of the month. We probably find some turbulence, consolidate, whatever, and then once we break above it, we should see this thing really launch, going up toward 2 cents, 3 cents, 4.5 cents, more cents. Ultimately, for Zebec, the target area that we're anticipating is something on the lines of about 3 cents at a bare minimum, which is about an 8x from here, to 7.9 cents at a maximum, which is about a 19, almost a 20x from here. So crazy potential. And again, as we've applied logic to this thought process for ZBCN, where it's going to go, it makes more sense to me. And just because it makes more sense to me doesn't mean that this has to happen, but it makes more sense to me, and in fact it makes the most sense to me, that this next move here, we break out of this pattern, maybe we break out here. I would call this move like starting right here. This next move will likely be larger than the last move. So if we get a rough measurement here, that would project us out to 3.6 cents. I would think that we do see a larger move overall, and the next fib that kind of lines up with that is 4.5 cents to 7.9 cents. Something in this range here makes the most sense to me. So that's likely where we're going to go. Again, the true minimum to give, I think, would be something on the lines of like a 8x, almost a 9x, right? Or no, sorry, 8x, yeah, about an 8x. That'd be the minimum expectation. And I think the maximum expectation now is roughly a 20x, genuinely. So that's all I got for you guys. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, hit the like button, subscribe. Let's look at Zebec real quick on x.com. Snowden. Gold is just Bitcoin that can't be sent over the internet. Or is Bitcoin just gold that doesn't need to be sent overseas? I don't know. Zebec network, let's look here. You guys know who I like to follow on x.com. I actually really like the Wolf of Wall Streets. I don't agree with everything that he says, but I like it. I don't know. I like his thing. If you're looking for someone to follow on x.com who's in crypto, he might be a good one to follow. Keeps up with the times, He's funny. He's also, I think he's pretty funny. Uphold, and he's smart. You can tell he's smart. Anyways, Uphold, upgrade, 6% crypto back is here. That's awesome. Get 6% back on your next payday. Uphold. Isn't that an exchange? But you can also do payment systems. Maybe it's just something that they're doing. 1% in ZBCN. I don't know what this is. Maybe you guys know better than I do, but that's cool. At least they're including ZBCN in there, right? With the likes of XRP too. That's pretty cool. Nothing really new as far as updates go. So yeah, we're just. Oh wait, here's where you'll spot Zebec and Uphold this November. Oh, what? That's right, because you guys. Oh, that's right. You guys had some announcements that you had sports advertisements in play Dude, with the NHL and the NBA, that's cool. Man, the NBA's under wraps or under fire right now, right? The refs are. That's pretty crazy stuff. And if it's happening in the NBA, you know it's right. Right. It's like that old saying that our parents all told us. Oh, so we caught you doing it this time, but that means that we just caught you. You've done this before, right? Like likely. Except for me, man. The first time my parents caught me smoking pot, that was the only time I ever smoked pot. Okay. And I stick with that story. Anyways, I got nothing else for you guys. Hit the like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. I'll see you on the next one. Take care of yourselves. Bye bye.